So, good morning to all of you, and to after introduction to your this fluid mechanics, and there you have basic properties there. Actually, the viscosity, surface tension. Actually, these are the main properties. Then density, then continuum fluid mechanics. Some idea about various topics, streamline, Newton's law of viscosity, dimensional analysis. Actually. Not dimension actually, the dimensions actually, the measurements and unit systems and type of flow, streamline, laminar, turbulent, the water hammering. So some basic introductions and fluid properties. Fluid properties we did actually. Now after that actually we are talking about fluid statics. So fluid statics is mainly we want to study that what will happen when fluid is at rest, means when it is being confined in some container or being stored, because the two things are always there in practice. First thing to store the materials could be your feed, could be your raw material, could be your product. It could be any the liquid thing actually in case of fluid mechanics, any the liquid which can be first stored or after the production actually. Like the storage is first part. So for the storage purpose, you should know the statics actually. What will happen if you will store the quantity in a very huge amount and in a particular shape and size of vessels. So you have to design the storage vessels actually. So to design the storage vessels, you should know the fluid statics very well. Otherwise, your design of vessel would become fail, and if you cannot store the things, then obviously your plant, your industry will not survive. So this is also the one of the most important part because the storage is the first and primemost part actually. Okay, so here references are these actually. These are the books which are already told to you. The one is Introduction to Fluid Mechanics by McDonald Fox. Other one is by this Munson and Young actually. So this is also fundamentals of fluid mechanics. Uh, the next one is the Unisensel actually, that fluid mechanics fundamental applications by Tata Mikhail. Reference book is Unit Operations or Chemical Engineering by Macabre Smith and Harold actually is Mikhail. And then another fluid mechanics book by Chemical Engineering Fluid Mechanics by actually that Ronald Darby and Ron Darby and R.P. Chabra. And another book is this Fluid Mechanics for Chemical Engineers by D. Nevers, actually. D. Nevers, Noels, Goffrey, and Demons. So these are the books. So you can follow, or you can have all of them if you love the books, and otherwise, if you don't love them more, you can have first one and first, second, and third. So fourth is also some sort of the Bible of chemical engineering. So that is most important. So objective of this particular fluid statics is determine the variations of pressure in a fluid at rest. So first you want to see that how the pressure would change when fluid is at rest only, and calculate the pressure using various kind of manometers. Means you should know the some devices just to measure the pressure. So manometer is easiest possible one. So if you have two and one is, let's say this is a pipe here, you want to have the pressure measurement, one is this side, one of the this side. So somehow you connect a tube here. Tube could be a glass tube, it could be a plastic tube, rubber tube, anything wherever you want the visibility. Connect it here, then connect it this side. So difference in two limbs would be your difference in pressure, right? That is the simple thing you might have just studied long time back in your 10th standard, 8th standard. You have studied that time in barometer. I hope you might be introduced that time manometer. So manometer just like a YouTube only. That's called the manometer. Then once you measure the pressure, then you have force exerted by fluid. So if you have a container of something like that, so you want to say that what should be the pressure on the surfaces so that you can design its thickness. Actually, what should be its thickness so that it should not bend? Because you see that when you will apply a force on a material or a seat or a block or any anything, if you will apply, it will create shear force and bending moment, right? So it will try to bend it, will try to distort it. So you want to calculate first the magnitude of the force. Once you will calculate the magnitude of the force, then obviously you want to provide the support. Let's say this is the notebook you have. Now you are applying this much force here. So it's just bending it, right? So if you can apply that much force from backside to balance it, just like that, you would apply two forces, one is from bottom, one is from top, equal and opposite, then it will not distort, right? So in that case, also in case of vessel, just like you have a cylinder here, cylinder you have filled with some fluid here, so it will create the pressure on all the walls here. Now, if you will have this cylinder made of paper, it cannot survive because it's the strength provided by this particular the paper is very low. It cannot sustain that pressure. So you will use the metal, right? So metal now you will in metal, all metal cannot the survive. If you put a gold foil, no, it cannot the survive. Aluminium also it can the survive the some pressures. Iron some pressure, stainless steel some pressure. So depending on the strength of the materials, you will use the material of the construction. Then it need a thickness. So thickness also important. Actually, how much thickness can the sustain that amount of the pressure? Okay. So that is the importance of forces actually. Now you want to also calculate the point of action of the force because you want to sustain the. Let's say this is the hand here. You are putting a force here or force at this particular point. So it's bending the finger, right? It's bending this finger. So if you apply support here on this particular point, it's of no use, right? Because it cannot sustain this particular force. If you mean the apply here, it can sustain just like this pencil here. If you are putting a force here, it will try to bend this side. So if you are putting a force here, you need a very large amount of force to hold it in position. Now let's say the someone must say, I will just put a force this side only. So that is the easiest and simplest, not the simplest actually, lowest amount of force. If you are directly put a equal and opposite amount of force on this side and that side, it means you are balanced. Anything apart from that, either here or here or here, as far as you are far away from here, you will need a large amount of force and it will create some sort of the bending. Actually, the torque, right? You have force and that is the couple, right? So it will try to rotate the things. Correct or not? Are you getting it?
Yes,
Huh.
yes,
So
sir.
in that case, in case of fluid also, statics also, all the time you calculate first force, magnitude of that, is point of action of that. Once you have found the point of action, now you want to restore that force by putting equivalent the opposite force at point of the action only, because that is the point you need just a bare minimum force. Now, sometimes not possible that you can apply here only. Means to apply a force, you should need some support this side. But यहाँ हवा में support आप you cannot provide. You cannot provide it here. Just like आप ये घर construct कर रहे हैं, you are constructing a pillar, a very big dam का ball, ये डैम बना दिया. जहाँ डैम आपने देखा है, डैम में किस टाइप की चीज होती है, राइट? इस टाइप का कार्बोरेचर टाइप. अब डैम में यहाँ से यहाँ तक पानी भरा है. Point of action is here somewhere. Now here you have just air only. Your ground is here somewhere. So how can you support the force? You cannot. What do? You just make some sort of this type of the beams, right? The supported which are connected to the ground actually. So you are just providing this way because you don't have the option to provide the force that way. You are not in position to provide that particular force. So you are providing this way, so you are providing the support. Now, because that is the only option you have the available with you. So you cannot always provide the force equal and opposite to the magnitude of the resultant force because that depending on the applicability of the place where you want to apply. Then you want to have once you have done this force analysis, stability means, and then after that you want to say that stability of floating body because you have, let's say, you want to have transportation in shape or you want to have something in fluid. Mostly you have floating body, so you are talking about shape, you are the submerging some solid material. You want to say stability means stability means you have a fluid here. Let's say you have put a block here. Just like if you will see that petroleum exploration part, all bore wells are under the sea only, and you are putting a platform just to take out the petrol from the ground, sea actually, seabed. So you are just putting a platform there. You are not fixing that platform permanently. If the oil, the reserve is for let's say 10 years or let's say for 5 years, you are not constructing it permanently. You are just putting on some of the support, some heavy weight the material in such a way that it should be stable. Stable means should not go the like that. It should remain always like that. Maybe in the cyclone, maybe in the some sort of the heavy waves in the sea, it should remain just like stable only. So in that case, the stability of these floating body, just like boats, any other material matters a lot actually. So you want to say stability, there you have to say buoyancy force, upthrust force, body weight, and once you are balancing your upthrust by body weight, and all of them are passing center of the gravity and center of the upthrust and buoyancy, all are lying in the same line, then your body is stable, right? That's what is being taught to you. Any response?
Yes, sir.
So that way you have to calculate that with the stability and flattening bodies, and then you want to calculate the meta center here. Meta center is the another point which say is the stability of the floating body. Then you have this one analyze the rigid body motion of the fluids in container using linear acceleration of the rotations. So just like that, you are filling some fluid in some container, rotating that in this particular part. So in that part, fluid in that container in the stationary mode only. Only thing you are the rotating in that particular part, right? So that is also one of the part here. So these are the major objectives here will be covered in this particular chapter actually of the now let's say the pressure. So if you are talking what pressure is, so pressure is being taught to you as force per unit area, right? That's what is being taught to you. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So it is the
Yes.
normal force per unit area, normal, that's called actually the pressure only. Now let's see these two guys here. So one is the 70 kg, other one is 140 kg. So here you see the weight is same. Weight here, here because the area of foot for all persons are same because feet area is same. Whether you are fat, tall, doesn't matter. Actually, most of the time, foot size is uniform. Means 5 inch, 6 inch, the general. Then some people are 8 inch or 9 inch or 10 inch only, not more than that. So in that case, area is fixed on which this particular weight is acting. But here weight is this is 70, here is 40 double. So see the pressure here, the pressure which your feet are feeling here is double. So therefore, due to obsessity or heavy weight, you will feel the heel pain actually, the joint pain, because that your heel are not designed for that much pressure actually. So to avoid that, actually, sometime People are using some cushion type of the material, so that gives some buoyancy type of the thing. Pressure is same, but only thing buoyancy you just feel slightly your light as compared to the hard sphere, hard the surfaces actually. So what to do to the minimize this pressure? So somehow you have to increase the area. Yes or no? Because what if either you decrease the weight or maximize the area. So due to that, actually, you can say that all fat guys have the heavy back actually. So this only because of that, because most of the time they sit only, and due to that, that particular portion of this back portion become broader and broader due to the heavy pressures. So now you see the pressure unit of pressure is just Pascal, 1 Pascal in Newton per meter square. Then if you have the, now depending on the quantity of the pressure actually, you have the different the units actually. So you came with the another unit is bar. So 1 bar is 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Then you can convert it to megapascals here, then 100 kilopascals. So how much is the atmospheric pressure? Any idea?
1.01 into 10 to power 5.
180.
180. 101.
So that's what my question is. One atmospheric pressure is 180 only. So how much is that in terms of Pascal? So you have here actually, so one atmosphere, how much is being taught to you in your tank?
1.01 into 10 to power 5 Pascal.
No, in easiest simple way, what is being taught to you
1 into 10
in
to the
terms
power
of
5.
mm of Hg?
760 mm of HG.
Right. That is the
Yes, sir.
easiest possible thing to remember. The rest of the things can be calculated by putting density and G, right? Yes or no? So you have 760 mm of the Hg. Now you multiply it by density of the Hg, 13.6. Some people say 13.59. And then multiply by G actually 9.8 or 9 point sometime, some put actually 9.81. So due to that actually, so if you just put the standard values here, so you will get this value here 101.325 Pascal or 1.01325 bar actually. So you can convert kilopascals, kilo means divide by just actually how much? 100 or 1000? How much is kilo?
1000.
1000.
1000. 1000.
Okay. Now, the another unit is actually all the time because most of the time because you are designing the pressure gauges. A pressure gauges, if you move from here to Jalandhar to Patiala or Delhi or Bombay somewhere, then in that case your G value is getting changed. So it's not always adverb. People don't design any of gauge in terms of absolute pressure. They just provide the gauge pressure. Means you connect these two into your the system. Whatever pressure will be read by this particular gauge for the machine is called the gauge pressure because it's directly coming from the machine only. So gauge pressures always are measured in terms of forces actually because force in terms of kg and you multiply by g can be converted into the Newton actually, fine. So this is what you have 1 kg force. 1 kg means your mass is 1 kg or mass co if you want to convert into the force multiply you will multiply it by if you want to convert mass into weight is force. So what will you do?
Multiply by G.
Multiply by g only. Therefore you have
Multiply
here
by G.
right 1 kg force per centimeter square equal to 9.807 Newton per centimeter. So you have just multiplied by G. Somewhere you have pound force because if you will go for tire में हवा भराओगे जितने भी time all the time, he talks about pound, right? How much pound force, right? You have PSI. उसमें वो gauge देखोगे, so either PSI or PSI G or pound force, PF actually, right? So pound force, how much is 1 pound? So that can be converted actually. 1 pound you have gram, and then you convert it to the G. So this is being converted 1 kg force equal to 9.807. Some people for rough estimate calculation directly take it 10, and then you are converting into the meter square in terms of Pascal. You are just getting 9.8 into the power 5, 4 actually Pascal. Then you convert to bar because 1 bar is 10 to the power 5 Pascal. So you are coming here. So these are the cases here. You can see one is here. This is PSI. PSI means this pound force per square inch. This is the British unit of the actually pressure. Then the first one, can you see what is the mention here first was? I can't see anything. So here you have pound force. So these are the gauges here. Okay. And these always go to this side. Gauge, if you have the pressure higher than the atmosphere, it goes to this side. Clockwise, anti-clockwise. No, it's clockwise. Clockwise is pressure is higher than the atmosphere. That is called pressure only. If it are low pressure or vacuum, it goes to the anti-clockwise. This is where you can actually estimate that. Now, these are the another parts that pressure. Then you have absolute pressure, gauge pressure, and vacuum. So first, talk about the gauge pressure. Because first we want to have the measurement. First we have to measure. Okay, what is the pressure? So whatever pressure is coming from any devices by either by manometer or some other thing or some that pressure gauge, whatever pressure is coming by the device directly is called the gauge pressure. Fine. Now in that gauge pressure, if you add local atmospheric pressure of that particular place, because G value is getting changes, and if you add the local atmospheric pressure into the gauge pressure, then it will become the absolute pressure. Fine. And any pressure below than atmospheric pressure is called the vacuum. Fine. So your vacuum pressure would be always less than 760 mm of the Hg. If your pressure is coming less than 750, 760, let's say, is coming 750, 740 mm of Hg, it means you have the vacuum inside the container or inside that particular the shape, wherever you have put the case. So vacuum things you have, so you are calculating this way. This is the way you have here. So at the absolute pressure, you can write P gauge plus P atmosphere. Vacuum pressure, you can calculate here that P vacuum atmospheric pressure minus P absolute here. So in that way, you can calculate. So, and this is just a diagram that how are they connected here. So in case of this, P gauge plus P atmosphere is called P absolute, and atmosphere minus vacuum pressure would give you the absolute vacuum. Actually. Okay. And if you are just mentioning any pressure anywhere, somewhere, people are just putting just pressure, it means is by default absolute pressure. So absolute pressure you need not to write, is by default pressure is absolute only. And civil engineer people, they have different nomenclature actually in their book because they follow Indian books actually. So in that case, they say that if they have pressure, for them pressure is gauge. So don't get confused with their terminology actually. Standard the nomenclature throughout the world is pressure by default is absolute pressure. You need not to write. But if you have a gauge pressure, you have to write PG actually. Okay. Now, this is just you have a small example here that you have a vacuum gauge connected to a chamber which read to 40 kilopascal at a location where atmospheric pressure is 100 kilopascals. So you have a vacuum gauge. So it's vacuum. So it means you have a vacuum pressure, right? Is that 40 kilopascal? Local atmospheric pressure is 100 kilopascal. This time the absolute pressure inside the chamber. So absolute pressure में क्या होगा? Absolute pressure equal to your atmospheric pressure plus pressure inside the gauge. So inside the gauge, you have already mentioned here the vacuum means that is in terms of minus only. So 100 minus 40 would be 60 kilopascal. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir.
So just there, just add atmospheric pressure. In that, you add the gauge pressure. So if it is gauge pressure, just say gauge, so just add it. If it is a vacuum, just put a minus sign and just do the calculation. Fine. Now here, pressure at a point. So let's say you want to calculate pressure at a point. So pressure is actually a scalar quantity. Yes or no? Or vector quantity?
Scalar quantity.
Scalar quantity because it doesn't work in any particular direction. It works every side. Just like this particular point is working in all sides actually. Okay. But only thing it will change if you are just changing its position. If you are going vertically up and down, its magnitude will change. If you are here, everywhere in all sides, it will give you the same magnitude actually. Either you move this side, that side. Fine. So now you want to calculate, let's say, pressure and force caused by pressure itself. So if you have on some surface, you know somehow, let's say this is, you can see this picture here, this is just a triangle. So you have a surface here. Now you want to calculate, let's say you are applying some force, a pressure on that. You want to calculate force. So if you have a pressure on that, multiply by this area will give you the force only. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? So
Yes,
if
sir.
you know the area, area would be a, which area? Any area or normal to that?
Normal to that.
Normal
Yes,
to that.
always normal to that. Any area will not work. Okay? Means the pressure or force should be normal. Let's say you are putting a pressure this way. So first you find out is normal component, then you multiply by this area only. Okay? So therefore you have in this particular picture here, let's say this left side here, pressure is directly normal here, and area of this, because this is the y, actually this is your z coordinate and y is this side only. Y is just a perpendicular to this particular board here. So area is y into z. Fine. Pressure magnitude is P1. So pressure force on that is P1 into delta y into delta z. Fine. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now let's say for this plane, the pressure is this way vertically upside here. Area for this is this is the x coordinate is delta x and y is this way only. So delta y. So area of this plane is how much the area of this plane, because this side is x, this side is y. So area is delta x into delta y. Pressure is the P2. So pressure force would be P2 into delta x into delta y. Fine. That's what the pressure force here. Now let's say for this plane here. So there you want to calculate here that the pressure is P3. Now area for this is this length is L, and again your this particular plane is Y. So your area is L into delta Y. So your pressure force is P3 L into delta Y. Okay. Why this
Yes, sir.
actually this sine theta is coming here? Can you see here? That I will tell you later. यहाँ तक ठीक है? With this point till here, pressure is
Yes, sir.
normal to this. Area of this plane of this side plane is this one. This length is L. This side is Y. So area is L into delta Y. Fine. The pressure force is P3L into delta Y. So that is the pressure force here. Now you have only for this, you have considered three surface. One is this surface, another is this surface, another one is this surface. You have not considered this surface and this surface. You are just considering only this this surface only and this one and fine bottom one. Three surfaces you are considering. If you have the solid material, you will have how many surfaces? कितना सरफेस होगा इस टाइप के ट्रायंगुलर ब्लॉक के लिए? Say something.
5 surfaces.
5.
See, कोई भी
Five.
सॉलिड मटेरियल होगा उसको यदि ढंग से करोगे you will always get 6. ओके, क्यों 6 होगा? एक तो यही हो गया, ये भी रहेगा all the time. You will have the some thickness. You have this, so always 6. But if you are talking about triangular prism, so ये corner, this is always is very thin material. So you have always this type of thing here. So you have one surface is this one is this one. All of them are very thin, so you are not considering them. Fine. But once you have this one also, ये तो होगा, right? This one be or this one. But you are not considering those one here for time being. So you are considering only three. Three because you have three direction coordinate x, y, z. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now you want to calculate force balance in direction x, because to have this particular block at rest, the total force in x direction must be, hello,
0. 0.
yes. So total forces in all directions individually must be 0. Total force component in x direction must be 0, y direction must be 0, and z direction must be 0, right? So if you see that first line, you are doing force balance, the summation sign in x direction, and it should be must be 0 if this particular block is at rest. So what are the component in the x direction here? One is this component P1 delta y delta z is acting outly in x direction, that's why it is plus here. Now this one P2 delta xy is completely in y direction, so it's the s component. This would be P3 delta x delta y cos theta, and theta is 90 degrees, so this component is 0. Therefore, this is not here. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Arey, give response. We have 100 in the 6th student
Yes,
and
sir.
breakfast किया है कि नहीं? What is this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now for this force, this particular force, on this force is acting this way. This is here P3L delta y, and from this vertical axis, this have the angle theta. So if you want to say calculate is horizontal component of this side, how much would be that?
Sine
P3
theta.
L delta y sin theta.
P3L delta y into sine theta only, right? So that would be this side here, because if you see this arrow here, this force is coming downward. So its vertical component would be downside, horizontal component would be this side only, minus x side, not this side. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Because force is acting this side, so its vertical component would be this side and horizontal component would be this side. So therefore, you got here the minus sign here, P3 delta y L sine theta, and therefore it's equal to 0. That is your first line. Now you want to calculate force balance in z direction. Z direction is your vertically upward. So let's say for that case, z direction here. So on this side, your force is P1 delta y delta z. If you want to calculate vertical component, so vertical component would be this multiplied by cos 90. Cos 90 is 0. So therefore, this component is not here, P1 component. Now let's say P2. P2 is P2 delta x delta y, that is the force vertically upside. So you have that only, full component has come here. Now let's say for this surface, so its surface perpendicular to this, force is P3L delta y, and if this force is this side, so vertical component going downward, therefore it is a minus here. So minus here you have this minus P3 delta y L cos theta. Now what is this component? Because it's body weight, all body, whatever body you have, you can put it in any shape, body weight will always act downward. So body weight component in previous case was also 0 because you have W cos 90, which is also 0. Fine. So therefore that was not here. Now for this case in y direction, body weight is always acting downward. So if you are to do the y direction, y plane you have taken vertically upside. So you are balancing in plus y side. So your body weight must be subtracted. How would you calculate the body weight? Your mass. How would you calculate mass?
Mass into gravity
Mass के लिए you need a volume.
and density.
Yes or no?
Density.
Volume and density.
Volume and density. So you have density. How to calculate volume?
सर उसके dimensions बताऊंगे.
अरे volume इसका
Area into
dimension ये
thickness.
है x is this is the delta x, this is delta z, this side is delta y.
Multiply
You can calculate volume of
Half
trapezoid. Trapezoid, the prism, volume of the prism, triangular prism. How much is that? Area of base multiplied by height, something. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Half.
So area of base of a triangle is how much? Half base into height.
Yes, sir. Multiply by thickness volume.
Or give some response.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Half into base into height.
Okay. So therefore you have
Yes.
half delta x, delta y, delta z. That is your volume. Multiply by density would be mass. Multiply by g is weight. So this is your body weight, which is acting downward, and you want to do force balance in y side. Therefore, it is subtracted. Fine.
Yes,
or
sir.
no? Oh, fine.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, you are calculating body weight here. Now you can calculate, because once you know this whole side is L, so you can calculate this Z also in terms of L. So Z is L sine theta. You can calculate X also in terms of L is L cos theta. Substitute all them back here in this one. You will get this expression here. P1 minus P3 equal to 0 and P2 minus P3 half of that equal to 0 here. And then finally, if you are talking about this particular system is open to atmosphere, so how much would be P1, P2, P3 value? If you are in atmosphere, in your head, in your shoulder, in your on your tummy, on your leg, what will be the
180.
pressure?
It will be the same.
180. It is the atmospheric
One
pressure.
180 sir.
180, the pressure would be same. Means if you are in the atmosphere, your pressure would be same, equal to your atmospheric pressure. Therefore, it is mentioned here P1 equal to P2 equal to P3 equal to P1. Fine. Okay.
Yes,